It's funny, in the comments section, somebody referred to my thinking as primitive, but complex in other areas. And as a doctoral student, they'd find it interesting to put into their thesis. Now, what's funny about that is this. I'm a big believer in atavistic thinking, as people might remember, although I highly doubt, from my point on post-racial eugenics. People need to start thinking more primally. One of the problems with humanity is that they put too much faith in the fact that they think that complex thinking is good thinking. This isn't true. Overly complex thinking is not good. In fact, that's what gets me in trouble 9 times out of 10 is overly complex thinking. But what's interesting is how complex thinking needs to happen is layered simplistic thinking. How complex thinking usually happens is trying to see the big picture and biting off more than you can swallow. That's the problem with how most people think think in a complex manner. Now, why do I think that atavistic or more primal thinking is necessary? Well, frankly, what happens with people is they tend to think that because they can regurgitate complex information, not understand it necessarily, but regurgitate it, that makes them intelligent. It's kind of like the people that can use a computer and think that they're smart because they can use a computer, not taking into consideration that the computer is, of course, user-friendly, and that they were educated in how to operate that computer or have been fiddling with that computer since the time they were a small child. This is a common misconception I see with many millennials of average or what I would say below average IQ 9 times out of 10, which I noticed when I worked in mental health. A lot of the college kids think they're intelligent, but they're not really. They have no insight into anything. One of the funniest things I have noticed, and I will go back to my work in mental health because that was the most hilarious I've ever seen college-educated people. You will see people with doctorates, actual doctorates in psychology, living at home with their mom and dad in their late 30s, early 40s, telling other people, you need to get your life on track. You need to stop acting like a pathetic idiot and get your life together. And the first thing you need to do is understand that you need to be responsible for your own self. Now, this is being told to people, and I remember this because I used to have to read their notes in order so I would know what the hell I was talking about with my clients. The therapists live at home and talk about how rough it is living at home. Their mom won't do their laundry. And these are people with doctorates in psychology. It's always hilarious how hypocritical people are. Another thing I was accused of was being pathetic regarding somebody I barely know. Now, unfortunately, this is, I can't get too into that because I don't want to bother that person anymore. But that individual, I will say this, I might barely know them, but what I do know about them, I do know that their opinion of me matters a great deal to me. Now, whether that's pathetic or not, I think that's more up to me and or that person than anybody else. Her opinion is very important to me. Her intelligence is very high, and her insight is very flawless. It's very interesting, though, how it's just interesting the insights that people come to without without really having any real insight. It's kind of like what always cracked me up if you watch these TED Talks or other things where highly educated people get up and speak about highly educated topics. You can watch somebody, and I know this because I used to have to go to these stupid trainings, okay? I can listen to somebody talk for 3 friggin' hours and not say a damn thing. Where in the meantime, I can talk for 1.5 minutes and say what they couldn't say in 3 hours. So it leads you to wonder. I am not a big believer in indoctrination and or education because the fact of the matter is higher education is mainly a liberal brainwashing. Even in the hard sciences, due to electives, you're seeing people be brainwashed by leftism, or at least egalitarianism, I think is a better term, because it's not left or right, it's egalitarianism. Egalitarianism is poison. But that's what I'll leave this video at.